And if we lose this week back to back, I might feel inclined to go home and hit my wife.
Fellas, how in the hell are we doing here today? Can't already tell? Or you got off on the wrong bus stop or something? You were obviously here at Lunar's Fantasy Football Extravaganza. All right, welcome. Thank you for coming. Nice to be here. Now, we are not here to waste anybody's time. All right, fellas. These videos are honestly a little too long. We got to shorten these babies up. So let's jump right in here with our last week's matchup and see what went down. Oh my gosh, man, oh man. All right, in case you missed our press conference that we did yesterday, this match didn't go as well as we thought, all right? So in our last extravaganza, I predicted myself to do really well, all right? I was shooting for a cool 170 points, and I thought he would get about 130, all right? He hit about that mark, a little bit over, but the Angels did terrible. Jordan Love, more interceptions than touchdowns, all right? He also got hurt, left that game. Only dropped 6 points, all right? I thought bro was going to be QB1, and he just disgraced the name of this good team, all right? Gone. Also, by the way, Jordan Love is gone. What else happened? Stephon Diggs, out. Torn ACL, no contact injury. Man, he was actually one of the very few people who have been around with the Angels from the jump, all right? We've loved Diggs all season, so that really hurts to see him go. All right, Diggs, Love, both of them are out of there. What else happened? Oh yeah, the Minnesota Vikings dropped 1 point of defense against the LA Rams. Oh my gosh, I did not expect that happening at all. And then Detroit Lions dropped 19 points. Gosh. I'm not going to get too into this match. Like I said, we made a whole press conference about it. Long story short, the Angels lost 112 to 137. We were feeling really good about that match. Sleeper was even feeling good about that match. We had about a 60% chance of winning it, but man, the team just had some hard battles and we did not pull it out. Brock Bowers on tight end day got absolutely disgraced. All right, 5 for 5, but no touchdowns. I mean, gosh dang. Actually, before we leave this week, I have to just show you what the bench was looking like, okay, too, just to show you what could have been. All right, if we take a look down here, Baker Mayfield dropping 24 points on the bench. Oh, gosh. So I was a little hesitant about Baker because he just lost both of his top wide receivers. But that apparently just isn't a problem at all. We knew Cade Otton was going to be catching more balls, and he did. All right, bro drops 29 points on the fucking bench. Devontae Smith drops 20 points, and A.J. Brown dropped 13. Oh, my gosh. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You literally cannot. So yeah, with Chuba Hubbard too, that's like a cool 80 points just left out there on the bench, just rotting in the sun. So moving forward on the Angels here, you might already be able to tell you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek, but we dropped Jordan Love and Stephon Diggs, all right? Jordan Love's just trash. I don't know who told me he was good. I don't know why I went into this season thinking that dude was good. I don't even know him. This is my first year watching NFL. He's gone, all right? We don't want him, don't need him. I don't care if he drops 40 points next week. He's never coming back to the Angels. And then our poor boy Stephon Diggs, out for the season, all right? I hate to drop him, but he's just not going to give us anything else the rest of the year. We picked up Ladd McConkey for wide receiver and Bo Nix. Both of those, I think, are really solid picks, too. I actually had McConkey on my team at the beginning of the year, but I was just hesitant with it being his first season. But he's actually starting to do pretty good. I mean, he dropped 30 points last week. I'm not expecting that out of him this week, but I'm expecting some good work for sure. And then Bo Nix has slowly been becoming one of the best rookie quarterbacks of this season by far. In the past few weeks alone, I think he's been leading all the rookies in pass attempts, pass touchdowns, all those fun stats. So we're glad to have him on the team, all right? We're hoping for some greatness out of him. With that all being said, let's just jump into our next week's match because we've got a doozy coming up here. All right, so the Angels are going to be playing Tyreek and friends here. 2-5 team, all right, not the best at all, but it's looking like from the sleeper projections that they're about to explode this week. So just looking at the projections here right off the bat, he's got a 65% chance to win. Sleeper has him getting around 136 projected points. And out of our whole league, that's the highest points out of everybody. Over here, Sleeper has your boy at a 115 with a 35% chance to win. And honestly, I kind of feel that. I don't know what it is with this matchup. Jacob was actually my first loss in the entire league, and he might have my number again. All right, I don't know what to say. Let's just do a little rundown here and take a look at the stats, or at least what we think's gonna happen. All right, and just take this all with a grain of salt. All right, I thought my team was gonna drop 170 last week, and we know how that turned out. So right off the bat, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts is going to be playing Jacksonville this week, and I'm not going to lie. He could potentially have that QB1 game that Jordan Love was supposed to have last week. Pretty much every quarterback besides Love has had their best game all year against the Jaguars, and I think the Eagles are better than the Packers. I think Hurts is better than Love, so I fully see him capable of doing that. Sleeper right now has him at 21 points, but I could see him getting a comfortable 30 this week, honestly. And that scares me a lot. All right, just know that scares me because I don't think Field's looking that good. Now, I know we just picked up Bo Nix, and I think he might have a more favorable matchup this week, but we just said in the press conference that this is Baker Mayfield's team, all right? There's been too many times we throw that boy on the bench, and he just wants to prove us wrong. So we can't fall for it anymore, all right? Baker Mayfield's going to be starting, and he's going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are currently 7-0. I think the refs might have been playing a little hand in that, but it's going to be a hard game no matter what. Nobody's put up their best quarterback performance ever against the Chiefs, and I don't think that'll happen for a while. But what I will say is I don't know football a whole lot, but something about this game, I don't know why, but something in my heart and soul is telling me the Bucs might win this one. The Bucs really might take this whole game home, all right? I don't know what's telling me that, but Kansas City isn't going to finish this season undefeated. Somebody's going to knock them off at some point, and I think Tampa Bay just might do that, all right? Call me crazy, say whatever you want, but if they do beat them, you heard it here first, all right? We're going to start Mayfield. I think he's going to go upset the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think he's at least good for a comfortable 23. If he drops me 23 points, that's all that you can really ask for out of him, all right? He's dealing with a very tough offensive situation over there, and give me 23 points. Now, moving on to the running back situation. This is honestly a clash of the Titans if I've ever seen one. He's got Alvin Kamara and Kyren Williams, who are both like the number 2 and number 4 running backs in the league right now. And then we have Henry and Mixon. Henry's number 1, and Mixon's sitting at like number 14 right now, but that's only because he was hurt and missed like 3 or 4 games, all right? If Mixon was in for all those, he'd be top 5 running back easily this year. So yeah, we're really strong on both sides of the coin here. The only thing that hurts us is that we're playing Denver and the Jets, and he's playing Carolina and Seattle. All right. The Saints already played Carolina, and that was like a 47-3 or 10 victory for the Saints. And Kamara had himself a day. All right. That was like easily a 30-plus game for him, and I'm scared that's going to happen again. All right. Carolina is just absolutely terrible. Everybody scores immensely on them, and it might happen again. Kamara might be good for 30 points. Now, Kyren Williams, I can't really speak as much for the Seattle defense, but they look just pretty mid to me, honestly. I don't think they're necessarily elite at stopping any sort of runs either, but I don't think Williams is going to have as good of a day as Kamara, so we'll just say he's good for like 20 points. Switching over to our guys, I mean, it's hard to bet against Derrick Henry, but the Broncos have one of the best defenses in the league right now. Who knows? This could just be a game where the king comes in and just absolutely dismantles everything. I mean, there's been games, obviously, as we have already seen, where somebody was supposed to not do good, and then they go in there and do really good. So I'm just hoping for a big upset out of my boy Henry, all right? Sleeper, kind of sleeping on him. Doesn't think he's going to do that good, but we just need 25. You know, can we get 25 out of you, Henry? He was a little quiet last week. Can we get a cool 20? Can we get back to that standard? All right, that would be really nice. And then moving on to Mixon, I actually think he has the better matchup between our two running backs. I think the New York Jets are going to be a little bit easier because they obviously aren't the Denver Broncos in terms of defense. And Houston is really struggling right now in terms of running backs. So we're going to see a lot of ball production out of Mixon. Hell, I honestly think he's going to be catching a lot of balls too. I think he caught like 6 passes last week because they were already super hurt on people. And now they don't even have Diggs. So I see him stepping up into a huge role with this offense. I think he's good for at least 20-25 too. Moving on to the wide receivers, he's going to be starting Tyreek Hill and Drake London. Now Tyreek Hill did a little bit better into his first game back last week. It wasn't really a whole lot. And now he's going to be playing the Buffalo Bills. Last week, I think they played Arizona, And I don't think Arizona is better than the Bills, so I think he's going to have a tougher time in this game. He's definitely still going to get the ball a lot as Tua's #1 target, but I just don't know how much production he's really going to have in this game. I don't know if that offense is going to be moving a whole lot. We'll see, though. I don't know anything at all. I just talked last week like I knew something. I don't know anything. Just to keep it safe, we'll say Tyreek Hill. We'll just match his 17. I don't know. I don't even know if we'll match that. We'll give him 15. All right, just because we got to make up some points somewhere. We'll give Tyreek Hill 15. Now, moving on to Drake London, I honestly don't really know enough about the Falcons or Dallas to really say anything about this match. London's definitely been having a pretty good year, but I don't think he's like the best or anything, you know what I'm saying? And since I don't feel confident enough to call that like matchup between teams, I think we'll just match whatever Sleeper has, all right? 16 points. We'll say he gets 16 points. Now, switching over to our side here, we got A.J. Brown and Ladd McConkey. I think A.J. Brown is going to be a part of that Jalen Hurts QB1 train, so he should be doing pretty good, all right? I'm expecting a big bounce-back game from A.J. Brown because he was a little quiet last week, too. Like I said earlier, Jacksonville gives quarterbacks and wide receivers some of their best games all year, so I'm hoping for a big one out of this duo, all right? Brown, please give me like 20, 25 points, man. Please, I need it so bad. And then Ladd McConkey, Lambeau Ladd, is going up against the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns just played one hell of a game against the Ravens, all right? That was a crazy upset last week. Nobody saw it coming. But is this just the Browns now? You know what I'm saying? Is this just the team they are now? I don't really think so, all right? I think it might have been a really good game. I think they might have went back into the locker rooms after that like, oh my gosh, we just beat the Ravens. We're doing it now. We could be a Super Bowl contending team or whatever they're saying, you know? They might feel good about that, and then they're going into this game feeling good, and they might get their feelings hurt again. That's what I'm hoping, all right? I need Lambeau Ladd to be good for a cool 20 points. I know it says questionable right here, but it said that for him a couple weeks now in like the little midweek practice. I don't think he's actually hurt or anything. I think he's just not trying to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? I think he's just going light in practice because he was dealing with something a few weeks ago. Moving on to the tight ends, we got Brock Bowers and Dave Njoku. Now, Njoku's a bit of a wild card for me because he's playing with the new quarterback, Jameis Winston, so I'm not really sure the amount of production he's going to be seeing with him. I think he was good for about like 10 points last week. But is that constant? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be throwing to Njoku that much, or was that just situational to that game? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? They're going to be playing the Chargers, who are also an incredibly tough defense, all right? They don't drop a whole lot of fantasy points, but they limit teams to about 15 or less points a game. They're a pretty lights out defense that is honestly really slept on because they just don't drop a lot of points. So yeah, good quarterback relationship or not, I think Njoku's going to have a bit of a tough time in that game. And your boy's got to make up some points somewhere. So we're just going to underball this guy and we're going to give him 5. All right, we're going to say he gets 5 points. Switching over to our darling angel Brock Bowers. All right, he would be, first of all, he would be so much better on a different team. It is shameful that he has to play on the Las Vegas Raiders. I hope he gets traded this year or I'm going to cry. He's going up against the Bengals, who aren't really the best against stopping the pass game, but the Raiders have no pass game. All right, they have no receivers and their best target is probably getting triple teamed out there on the field and they can't get the ball to him and everything just sucks for Bowers. I wish he was on a better team. For the cards he's dealt, he's been dropping a considerable amount of points. All right, he's been doing pretty solid, but he could just be doing so much better, all right? This boy only has 1 touchdown all season, and he's like their top receiver right now. He's the best hands. What are we talking about? I feel really great about Bowers, but he's just a bit of a wild card for me because I just don't know how the team's going to be doing that day. So we'll just keep him at the projection, all right? Sleeper thinks he's going to get 13. Sounds good to me. We'll keep it at 13. Moving on to the flex role here, he's going to be starting Malik Neighbors, and they're playing the Commanders. Now, Malik Neighbors, really good, all right? He was having himself an insane start to the season when things first kicked off before he got hurt, but I honestly just don't know how I feel about these New York Giants, all right? The whole offense just seems terrible. The O-line is terrible, Daniel Jones is terrible, and I just can't see them really getting a whole lot going in this game. I really think Malik Neighbors is their only weapon on the Giants, so all the Commanders have to do is double, triple team him, and they're not going to be able to do anything, all right? Neighbors isn't going to see any balls. Giants are going to lose by like 30 points, and that'll be that. At least that's just like my insane Lunar fairy tale world, okay? I really hope that he gets triple teamed and drops like no points. All right, Sleeper has him at 16 here. I hope he drops like 8, all right? In one of his other first game backs, his first game back against Philadelphia, he dropped 8.10, all right? I'm trying to see that sort of production out of that boy again, because that would really help us out. Now, for our flex, no brainer, we're going to be starting Otten, all right? He's Baker Mayfield's best choice of getting the ball out. He dropped 29 points last week, and I'm expecting some greatness this week too. And if the Buccaneers are really going to go in there and upset the Chiefs on Monday, Otten's going to play a big part in it, you best believe. Otten got like 2 touchdowns last week. I think he could be good for 2 again this week. I'm hoping for a big, at least 20-25 point game out of him. If we got 20-25 out of him, that would be beautiful. I would love that so much. Now, moving on down to kickers, he has Brandon Aubrey, who is one of, if not the best kicker in the league right now. So that's always really scary to go up against. But also, we have first name Fairburn. I don't know what this dude's first name is. Kaimi? Whatever his first name is, we got him, all right? Now, something that really sucks is that the Dallas offense hasn't really been able to get moving as much as they'd like to. So Aubrey's just been having himself a season, all right? He's been kicking a lot of field goals, making a lot of really far ones, and racking up some points, all right? But something that I think helps us a lot is that the Houston offense is also kind of in shambles right now. And Fairburn's really good, all right? If they can just get my boy in range, he can do the rest and put up some great points. For their projections, I'm probably going to go with like 12 for Fairburn, because that seems safe. I think he got 12 last week, honestly. But Aubrey, I do feel like is the better kicker, so we'll just give him a slider nudge with like 14. We'll say he gets 14. 2 more than our guy, all right? And last but not least here, we have ourselves the defense, all right? Now, a part of me really wanted to hit the waiver and just pick up like a random defense I thought was going to do good this week, but I'm putting a lot of faith in a big bounce back from the Vikings, all right? They've been the #1 defense all year, but that game against the Rams was just abysmal, all right? That was their worst defensive game all year, and I don't think that's going to happen again. I think they're going to fix whatever happened, and we're going to see a better showing out of them this Sunday. I don't know exactly what they're going to get point-wise. Sleeper says 8. I'm just going to say 10, all right? If I got 10 points out of defense, that would be a huge day, all right? I just got 1 last week, so 9 more. We'll clap it up for that. And moving on to the Eagles, we've already been talking about them a lot. They're playing Jacksonville, all right? Jacksonville isn't the best offensive team. I don't think they'll get a lot going offensively this game, but I don't think the Eagles are necessarily going to blow us out in the defensive side of things, all right? Defenses are honestly kind of hard to call because anything can really happen. Like, there's a lot of different factors that play into that scoring. So just to keep things simple, we're just going to say both defenses get 10 points, all right? So that is our full week here. That is the matchup. Like we said, we're only at a 35% chance to win. Sleeper thinks it's looking slim, and I honestly kind of feel that too. I'm not feeling the best about this week. I don't know exactly what the numbers were that I was just adding up, but I'll throw up my projections somewhere on the screen so you can see them. I think my projections even have me down, but you know what I'm saying? Any given Sunday, you know? Anything can happen out here. All of his players could go break a leg or something. All my players could go break a leg. All of our players could drop 30 points. That would be insane, all right? You never really know till you know, so we'll just have to see what happens. When we first came into the league too, we didn't really have the best team, all right? A lot of our matchups were looking like this, where Sleeper had us down in the beginning. You know, the projections weren't necessarily in our favor, but we had a lot of confidence in our boys that they were going to do better than what Sleeper said, all right? I don't have a lot of confidence, but I do think we're going to get more than 115, all right? Jacob might get more than 136, but we're getting too crazy. We'll just see what happens, all right? That's going to about do it here for the Extravaganza, fellas. Thank you for stopping by and checking out what we got going on in the league. Also, if you didn't check out the press conference I did for last week's game, make sure you go check that out. I'll leave it in the description, and I'll also put like one of the little things up there that pop up there, you know what I'm saying? You can click on that and go watch it, all right? I don't want to say it was pretty good, but it was pretty good, okay? Raw, emotional, shocking footage for the world to see. So if that's something that interests you, go check it out. But yeah, that's about it, folks. Wish your boy luck this week in some fantasy. Take it easy. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.